Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Maree, how are you,
Hi,
dear?
I'm great, thank you. I think it's Valentine's Day over there, isn't it? Happy Valentine's
Yes, it
Day.
is. Thank
We
you. Thank you
we had
so
ours
much.
yesterday. So,
Yeah. How
yeah.
was it?
Yeah, it was great. I was with there's quite a few of us friends that went away. We call them witchy weekends. So there's a few of us that go away and it's just amazing time and healing together, which is beautiful. So that was my Valentine's Day. So,
Wonderful. Well, better than mine. Mine was today, Monday.
yeah. Oh, Monday,
So,
yeah.
yeah, nothing really to do. And hi, Ashley. Hi, Tort. So, just very, eh, kind of like a day, you
Yeah,
know?
just another day.
Yeah,
So
just another day to spread love to everybody,
that's
you
it.
know.
And that's what Jasper's just saying to me. He wants to give love to everyone that's on here. So he said, forget Valentine's Day. I'll love you.
Aw. Yeah, and really it's something that we should do every day anyway, right? Give
Yeah.
love and just be uplifting and raise people's vibrations. So that's why we're here. And we're also looking for knowledge, information, and I am super excited about today. And we're going to talk about Stonehenge and Easter Island. They are monoliths and they are considered actually megaliths because they're supposed to work together. So at least Stonehenge is. So, if you guys did not watch, I have the episode of Ancient Aliens underneath in the description box. So definitely go ahead, and if you did not get to see the show before you came for today, definitely give it a look and see. Now you know the answers. To the questions that they're asking. So um, very, very, very cool show. So Maree, do you have anything before we get started?
Um, no, I guess I have actually been to Stonehenge, but I was only like 24, so it was a few years ago. And it was interesting because I'd always been drawn to go there to see it, and I think we were allowed to touch them back then as well. Like it was, yeah. But I remember just going, oh, this isn't what I expected. I mean, I wasn't as tuned in then, obviously, as I am now, but I was still quite clever, quite psychic. And I was going, I'm not feeling a lot with this. It was beautiful to see them, but there felt like there was something missing. So, yeah, and I've always wondered about that. Mm.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. So, we can get started, but first I want to thank all of you, all of those that join us live and help us with questions and support us live when they can, and also those that watch the video afterward and share it with others. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for helping us and supporting us. It's truly, really appreciated. Okay, so Stonehenge. Let's start with Stonehenge. So the first theory is that it was created 4,000 to 5,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Was it?
Let's have a look and see. Let's have a look at our timelines and see what's going on with that. Okay. All right, so what's come up is our Nine of Pentacles, which is our beautiful uniqueness and our creator. And then the Three of Hearts. So to me, there's something that's gone on that maybe is not what we're thinking with that timeline. And then the King of Pentacles. So to get a Queen and King of Pentacles together is telling me that this has been associated with masters, and it could very well have been even before that. So is what I'm getting. So
That's what
yeah.
I was
So
thinking too. Like my intuition was
yeah.
telling me that I feel like it was a lot earlier than that.
Like even around, I'm going to pull up, but I'm getting even around about 15,000 years ago. Something like that is what I'm feeling. And I'm seeing, again, very interdimensional energy coming through with that. So it's interesting when that happens, when there's an interdimensional aspect of our timeline. So was there a jump in timelines? Like, has something happened as well? But it felt, it just was coming through that it was definitely older. So, wow.
This is right here. Yeah. There's Stonehenge. And this is from the side and this is from the top. And as you can see, there are some areas that have been destroyed. And what they were saying is 75% of it has been destroyed. So we definitely will be talking about that some more to find out, what happened there. So just keep that picture in mind. And of course, I'll bring it back over so that we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. And I need to put Maree here. There we go. Okay, now we can see the cards.
Okay, so the first one that came up was Chariot. So to me, it's movement. It's different timelines. It's moving through something. So that's really just confirming that timeline. And then again, of course, we've got the Fool first. So just right time, right place, jumping off the unknown. And again, we've got that beautiful, unique creator, the Queen who creates. So, and I'm getting a lot of energy coming through as I'm talking about this. So there's obviously going to be something more that comes in intuitively.
Okay. Very good. And I'm putting that up for those of you guys that are coming in later in there. Okay. That's a great question. About, can one touch the stones and teleport? I know you said you touched the stone and you didn't feel anything.
But, again, it comes down to frequency. Like that was a long time ago. And even on Earth, it was such a lower frequency because just from my understanding and knowing, it was used by the Druids and the ancient ones, with as like a portal. But, is it the true Stonehenge? Is it, maybe it's not on the actual grid line that it's meant to be on to allow us to do that teleporting. So I'm just going to, yeah, it feels like there was definitely the ability to do it, because when our beautiful Page of Cups come up, it's offering us a gift. Okay, it's bringing us through something. So I believe that there can be teleportation. But then there's a Five of Wands, which is a change. So maybe something was changed so that where it's sitting or what's there is actually not the place where the true grid lines are that it was on before, or has the grid line shifted? I don't know, but we're being offered something that we can't see. So to me, yeah.
Can we use the cards to find out if it's because it was destroyed?
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
I mean, that's what I'm getting, and that the reason you can't use it to teleport anymore is because it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was tampered with, or like that was specific, or an earthquake, or I don't know.
Yes, and they're all swords that have come up. So this is all about thoughts, air, words. So the Queen of Swords has come up. So it's like she can, something can be hidden from us, from what we know, with that one. And then Four of Swords, which is again mystery. So it feels like it's been tampered with, because then we've got our Three of Swords. So there's definitely been some tampering going on there, and it was deliberate and it was known, is what I'm getting from those cards too. So whether it was,
so go ahead.
Whether it was the actual stones because of the destruction, or was it moved? That's always been my wanting to know.
Let's ask.
Yeah, was it actually moved from where that powerful grid line was? Because it was meant to be all connected up into when particular planets and constellations came in on certain times, and that's a little bit like the pyramids in a way. and, you know, connected up to other monoliths around the world as well. So let me just see if it was actually moved. The Chariot, definitely movement. There was some movement, so that came with it. And then the Three of Wands. So this was looking into the future, making a decision and looking into the future to see, well, what can we do? And again, is it's the pression of what it was we needed to know to stay connected and be powerful, but be on earth at the same time. Because, yeah, and then the Nine of Cups. So it was wishes. This is when there's a wish around something. So it's almost like it was moved for a reason. It was moved for some reason. So
yeah, of course, to make it so that we couldn't use it.
Yeah.
Or actually say maybe it was moved because the grid lines moved.
Yeah, well, and this is what I'm getting, because they didn't feel really malevolent. Those cards weren't bringing through a really devious energy. I can just see this shift of energy somehow. So, yeah, whether it was the portals moved with the grid lines, yeah. So I'll do a clarification card for that.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, so the Two of Cups has come up, which is definitely like it's a relationship. So it can be the relationship of the actual Stonehenge to the portal or to those grid lines, and just being where they're meant to be. So they're in perfect unison. And so 15,000 years ago, according to our timeline, that would have been perfect unison when they were put up there. So, yeah. And I don't know about, have you ever heard of the book? I think it's called The Screaming Stones. Have you ever heard of that, Elisa? I remember reading that because I was fascinated with Stonehenge and what I sort of saw there when I was young. I found this book, and apparently they'd put some cement around some of the stones to keep them together or hold them. And this, I'm just getting goosebumps all over me. This woman that was really incredibly tuned in to the stones said it was screaming because it had this cement around it, and it was an alive entity. Like, as we know, the consciousness
of course.
of it. So if anyone else has read that book or heard of that, yeah, it was. And I mean, the goosebumps I just got then, it's like, yeah, there was some truth in that. So they're very much living stones, living relics. And if you can imagine all of the amazing ceremony and ritual and the power that would have come through them, you know, that would have created, it would have been an incredible energy within them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about what happened to it. Like, how did it get destroyed? What happened to it?
Okay. Yeah, so these cards keep coming up today. It looks like we're in for these cards. So this is, again, the Page of Cups, which was the gift that gets brought through and the learning when it was new. So when it was sort of built and when it was all new, there was definitely a beautiful gift in there. And then there's the Four of Swords. So there's a lot of mystery that surrounds this. But when the King of Pentacles has come up again, so that master of reality creation, and I was getting the image of like a different frequency coming in. And so it was almost like it couldn't hold that frequency anymore. And so that it sort of became natural wear and tear of the actual stones. Whereas before that, when that consciousness and vibration was coming through them, they were very, very solid. And then it was just as the frequency and vibration dropped back down, then they couldn't stay in that sort of space. So there was, it had to do with energy.
So you're saying that the energy of the area, or Earth, maybe the whole Earth, who knows?
The whole Earth is what I was getting.
Okay, the whole Earth dropped so much that it ended up having to so okay, the Tower. So what do you get with that?
Yeah, there was
That it
definitely
was
a
like
big drop.
man-made, or it was the
It,
stones themselves, or
yeah, combination. I feel because of this huge drop in frequency and energy, it's like we as humans, or the beings that were there, we lost our connection into earth as well. So we weren't maintaining that balance. And so that also happened for all consciousness within stones, within everything in a way. So that was the drop in energy that was, yeah, happened. So it's a it feels like it was a huge shift that happened. And if you remember, well, we talk about, from Lemuria and Mu times to Atlantis times, that drop that happened, it's like what's going on for us now. It's sort of going the other way, so that we're remembering who we are, and now we're increasing in frequency like so quickly, and learning to be more connected back into our beautiful earth. And we're getting that connection back, whereas before this we were probably quite disconnected in a way. But it's
Mhm.
happening very quickly, and that's what I was getting from that Tower card. It happened fairly quickly, so
Oh,
that the energy really dropped.
okay.
So
So how did this happen? How was it destroyed?
High Priestess has come. So the High Priestess has come up first. So this is the balance. Okay, this is a balance between masculine and feminine. There's mystery there. To me, there was a perfect balance, and that's what was keeping it all structural. So it could have been there forever. I mean, we know things wear away with time and with weather or whatever, but when it was balanced, it actually stayed there. It gave it a lot of strength. So it could maintain through the vibration and frequency that was in that area. They were maintained almost holographically, and as well with the consciousness. And that's when the divide happened. This is when the split happened. So with
Mhm.
the Two of Swords, it's almost like a decision was made, even if it was by the stones. They just couldn't be held anymore where they were, and things do wear down over time. And so because that consciousness dropped, it was like a parting of the ways. It was a decision. So it was just a natural phenomena that was happening. It always comes back to energy, is what I'm getting. So it wasn't.
So I'm wondering if
Mm,
it was the energy that was keeping them standing up, the ones that were single, the ones that
yeah,
weren't held by anything.
yeah,
And once that energy that was holding them up disappeared, then boop, they
you
just.
got it. That's perfectly said. And it's so the Ace of Pentacles has come up, which is creation, reality. So that's a yes around that. So the other structures maybe supported, but then the other ones fell because they were on their own.
Mhm.
So yeah, energy is a really interesting aspect, because we're all energy. Everything's energy. And so when it starts to get played with, and it changes, then structures can change.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Very good. So who put him there?
Okay, let's have a look at that. It was, so the Five of Swords, when I'm looking at this, it was done, it wasn't what we would consider earthlings as us. So this is something that came in to change an aspect. The Page of Wands, this is around learning and spiritual learning. So it was beings that were actually spiritually evolved, that were helping us to become more spiritually aware. So, and then it's the Six of Cups. So it's offering a gift. It's giving us something to work with. So I'm getting that it's actually, I'm just going to pull a clarifying card as well for this one. Yeah. So they were higher
That's
frequency.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Higher start beings still within our matrix. This is what I think we have to remember. We might call them extraterrestrials but they would have spent some time on Earth doing this. So definitely had more memory and more of an understanding of what this Earth plane was about. So setting it up from that perspective.
Yeah, because from what I see in that card, what calls to me are all the stars in that card.
Totally. Yeah,
So to
totally.
me, it's like that's where it's coming from. Like
Yeah.
from that card, like
Yeah.
that's what I get from that card, right?
and very much the energy is how they were made and put in place or whatever. It's a little bit like the pyramids again. So if we, talk about our other aspects that we know were made, whether it's through sound, through vibration, and lifted and teleported or whatever.
Okay, so if we know they came from the stars, we're saying that the stones came from whales. They were brought in from whales.
Okay. Wow, interesting. Look, because straight away what I was getting was, something was different then. So what we know of as Wales now could have been in a very different area. And there's definitely mystery. That Four of Swords is coming up again. There's definitely mystery with this. And then there's the High Priestess. So the balance of feminine, masculine, but still more mystery. And then again, the Tower card. So I feel that there was a big shift on Earth so that those, what we now call whales, that stone may have come from somewhere else. Because, look, for example, I've been over to South Africa, I've been to Portugal, and Australia is meant to be a continent on its own. But in both of those places, I could have sworn I was back in Western Australia with the landscape and everything that was there. I went, oh my God, we were all connected at one point. So what we call Wales now could have very well been something else or a whole nother area is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think we would have gotten yes cards if it was. But in the show, they're telling you as a fact that they come from Wales. So I thought that was interesting. And
there's more to it than just that, is what I'm getting.
Exactly. And they also said that another legend says that Merlin, who was in Ireland, was levitated them from Wales over to where they are now. But they did say that they thought that Merlin was not from here. That's why he had those powers, because he was here kind of to show us what we could do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So the first one that's come up again is the Four of Swords again. Honestly, I shuffle these cards, guys. So there's an energy that's coming through with that Four of Swords that is telling us there's something much deeper. There's something that we haven't clicked into yet around this. But it's interesting you say that Merlin came through, because I always do run energy and meditate before we do these live sessions. And Merlin came in and I went, oh, okay, great. So Merlin's energy came through before we even started this show. And I said to you, I have not watched those videos or anything. And I went, you've got something to do with this. And a lot of the time when I'm connecting with Merlin, it's working with the grid lines of the earth. It's working with vortexes. It's
energy.
It's through energy caves, always, and magic. And honestly, some of the stuff he's shown me and I've experienced with Merlin, it's been amazing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Merlin was an aspect of one of the beings that was actually, or that energy, that frequency was an aspect of one of the beings that helped to connect up and set up these places. Because to me, that's his real skill set. That's how I've always seen him, is in crystal caves and through those sort of places. So I feel there is definitely a connection with Merlin. I'm feeling it was more interdimensional than what they're saying, though. It was much more interdimensional with the shifting, because, and when we look at the pyramid, let's go back to something like the pyramid with Thoth and doing the levitating with the frequency vibration. That also would have been interdimensional. So it's like UFOs come through, or spaceships come through a vortex or a gateway. That's interdimensional, and it can happen like that. So I feel there was a real interdimensional aspect of this being put into place.
Okay. So I wonder if what they're trying to tell us is that it specifically, the stones specifically came from, not from Earth.
Okay, let's ask that question. Let me see what comes up. I'm feeling that they did come from Earth because we've got the Empress, which is the mother figure, the creator, and very connected to nature and Earth. But it's like there was some drama, going on with the Three of Swords at the time, and so therefore the Fool came through, which brings in a new way of looking at things, a new way of being. So I'm feeling that they were from Earth, and it was the energy. Yeah. World card clarifier. So they were from our Earth, but because the frequency was different, grid lines were different, the energy here was different, they could be worked with in a way that was not what we are used to. So they were from Earth is what I'm getting.
Okay. All right.
Jasper's actually going, yes, they were. So
okay, very good. What was it created for? Like, I mean, was there, because they were saying, is it a celestial travel tool? Was it to find underground water flows? Was it to memorialize their gods? Was it a calendar? Or was it for farming circles or to gather data about the stars? So it could be so many. Was it a healing place?
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's like, what was it specifically made for? Wow, it's so the first card that's come up is our Seven of Pentacles. So this is like setting up a sowing seeds, setting up a garden, very spiritual, creating a reality. So it was definitely thought about what they were actually doing. And it was the Three of Hearts, the Three of Swords has come up again. So again, there was something going on that specifically was set up to help with. And then we have the Judgment card. So this is people awakening to a greater way of being. So it was set up for a spiritual reason. So I'm just going to clarify that as well with our cards, because they were and it was when you were asking the question, I was actually getting shown this massive vortex, and I almost started to feel a little bit sick, which means I'm traveling really quickly interdimensionally. And so it was almost like interdimensional travel. Because we had a whole different energy system then. I think I saw something in there. Someone was asking about was it a different density, and it was. We remembered more of who we were. There was much more knowledge of that. So I'm just going to ask the clarifying question: is that what it was used for? Yeah, it was definitely set up deliberately on a spiritual basis. So for us for there to be access, like a doorway, bringing in energy. Oh my God. And then these two have come up. So we've got the Devil, which is, the dark aspect. It's not always a bad thing, the Devil, because we've got the dark and light side within us as well. But then the Ace of Swords has come up. So that's actually helping for us to understand more about that, the duality. So this was a place where there was a higher frequency. It gave more clarity for duality, and how maybe it's not a bad thing, but it's been demonized. So very spiritual, very much a traveling system. So, and I'm being shown stars, so very much connected into the cosmos.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe then it was not a healing device. Or a replica of our solar system, because that's what they said on Ancient Aliens, was that the way that the circles were set up, it was a replica of our solar system. Actually, that could be true, because that is teaching them about the stars, which you were seeing the stars. So there could be some truth to that.
Because of the frequency and the fact it was a portal, I asked about the healing first, which is what you just asked about. And then our Fool card came up. So there was a belief system around that. So again, perfect timing, jumping off, not knowing. And the Hierophant, which is something, it's a being of authority. It's a being of let me just change. Yeah, it's a very much a powerful being, and it can be of healing, it can be of spirituality, it can be of whatever, this authoritarian. So it's saying to me that there was an aspect of healing for people that were there or drawn to that place. And then at the same time, I asked the question you were asking about the solar system and the connection. And we had the Empress, which is our beautiful creator, our Mother Earth, and then we had the Ace of Wands. So that's a
a
yes.
yes, a
Yeah.
big yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely a replica of our solar system. Okay. Well, do we ask each question that they said separately?
Go for it. Let's see what happens.
Was it used as a calendar? And that kind of includes farming circles, like if it's a calendar, it could be used for farming circles. So I'm going to include that in there.
So your question is was it used as a measure of time? Is that the question?
As a calendar, right? As a calendar of some kind.
Okay. Oh, goodness me. Okay. So the first card that's come up is Four of Pentacles. So it was a foundation. So it was definitely a place where, and I'm getting told that it's not time, it's not a calendar how we imagine a calendar. It is energetically and interdimensionally. What are they showing me? They're showing me that that's come up again as well, our Three of Swords. So it was not what we perceive of as a calendar now. So it was more of an energetic level, like, yeah, now's time to plant seeds, because you know how we can change, our seasons can change, and we have different types of seasons. It's different. It's not even, we can't even put it into the words of it being a calendar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're saying maybe it was for farming farming cycles instead
of a calendar.
like
Yes, so more
calendar.
of cycles, definitely more of cycles, and especially because I'm getting that cosmic connection again. Yep. And so it's actually showing the Wheel of Fortune's come up. So what I'm being shown is that as the planets and stars come through, they hold a certain energy. So it's sort of almost like bringing that through onto the earth as well. So it's increasing that. So if it's a time for planting, then it will, that energy, that increased energy will help with that farming, with that planting. So it's different to a calendar. It's hard to explain what I'm actually seeing and getting.
Okay, and then was it used to gather data about the stars?
Let's have a look. Wow. So the Queen of Swords is up first. So again, that's our it's the feminine aspect of our words and our thoughts and our mind. So it wasn't just giving us knowledge. That's what you were asking, wasn't it? It was giving us knowledge
about the stars. Mm-hmm.
About the stars. It was actually bringing through the energy of the stars as well. It was doing more than just that. So there was already a knowing of the connection into the stars and into the stellar system. And so Wheel of Fortune's come up again. So it was moving things through much quicker. So it wasn't just the information. They already, the beings that built this already knew all of that. But it definitely would come through for maybe the next lot of people that saw it or were, working with it. It may have helped them remember that wisdom of the stars. So it was definitely bringing through an energy with it. It wasn't just about knowledge.
Okay, wow. Okay, very good. Okay, so we asked the question of who, of why, right? So the purpose was basically to give us a gift, a spiritual gift. Okay, so then I want to go back to the question about here. So can Maree speak on the elongated skulls found at Stonehenge?
Okay, so remember I kept referring back to the pyramid and that time, and remember they actually had the elongated heads as well. So these were the extraterrestrials that were on Earth. So they were still considered terrestrials, but they were just from a different genetic pool, a whole different vibration and frequency. And that was how I always have perceived Thoth and the beings that actually did this sort of work, where they could work interdimensionally. They could work with the frequency, with the sound, and with actually placing, like the pyramids, using that ability to create. So if they've found those sort of elongated skulls at Stonehenge, then that sort of, to me, makes sense, because remember where they found them as well when we were talking about the Nazca lines. And it was the same sort of technology. That's what I'm feeling with this. It's very much that same technology they were using. So I'll ask the cards the question, and we'll just see, was there a relationship between all of these different sacred sites on Earth
Oh, yeah.
and the beings that created it?
Yeah, was it the same beings?
Was it that same family or same abilities that they had? Because remember, that elongated skull means they were very, very connected in to their source and remembered who they were, and very psychic, very telepathic. So let's just ask that and see what comes through. So the first one again that's come up is our Four of Pentacles. So definitely same, it was a foundation. So that was definitely built from the same foundation of this species of beings. So and then we've got the nine of Wands. So they were here as well. They were intermingling with beings that weren't as evolved. So it was quite a hard journey trying to explain stuff to people. So is what I'm getting. It's like, oh, we'll get there.
Can you imagine explaining it to a caveman?
So yeah, but or even yeah, exactly. So, and then the King of Wands. So this is the master of spirituality. So they definitely were masters in that spiritual realm. And I'm going to ask for a clarifying card as well, if they were actually all interrelated. And I've got the 10 of Cups. So this is a family card to me. This is a really beautiful, happy family. So yeah, they were all interconnected. The beings with that elongated sort of skull aspect. Oh, I'm just getting a bit of a download. Jasper's just laughing and he's going, they all chose to leave those skulls to help us to actually unravel what's happened and find more truth in it so that we could piece things together. So that was deliberate, doing that.
Okay, very
Justice
good.
card just came up. So yeah, that was for us to remember and to learn to remember that, you know, that's what happened. It wasn't how we've been told everything was built with slaves and all of that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, very good. So I think I have all the questions about. Oh, they did ask if they were connected to the similar. Oh no, this is for Easter Island. For Easter Island. Okay. So moving on to Easter Island. Easter Island is this place of the heads, right? And off the coast of Chile. And they have these huge heads. And they also have, like I showed you in the other picture, this. So I want to ask about this as well. Yeah. So let's go with the they have a name, don't they? Or they're just called Easter Island head.
Yeah, I was so drawn into Easter Island after Stonehenge when I was younger. I really looked into it, and it's almost like I can't remember now because maybe what I was reading wasn't actually truth back then. But I just remember being drawn to this, like weird situation as well when I was younger. So I haven't done a lot of research into Easter Island since, so we can ask. So
Yeah, definitely. So let's ask if if we can get an idea of who created them.
okay.
And why do they have this specific, I guess the second question we can ask is their specific look.
Yeah, no, I was wondering that too.
Yeah, who do they represent, right?
Okay, so again, I feel like it's beings that we don't know of now. So it was right, back then it was right time, right place. It was actually beings that we now don't have here on Earth. And again, that Nine of Wands has come up. So there was something going on there was a disparity between the beings that were on Earth at that time with who made them and what was coming on. And I feel that they moved on quite quickly. So and I'm not actually feeling with this that they were related to the beings that did the other ones. And our Knight of Pentacles has come up. So this is a much more slow and steady creating still, because it's slow and steady, but doesn't have that same high vibration I was feeling from the Stonehenge. There's something about it that's different. So it's a being that was on Earth, but yeah, there was a bit of trauma going on at the time is what I'm feeling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So were they created by, because remember, we had Lemuria, we had Atlantis. So they had the ability to also levitate and create, things like this. So could it have been them, not star people, but more a earth type?
Good question. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, this is really interesting. It's all, so it's swords again. So we've got our King of Swords. So it was beings that still used their mind. They still had telepathy, and their words. So there was still vibration and frequency that brought it through. Then we've got the Three of Wands. So it was definitely for us what we would call futuristic, because to me Atlantis is almost above and beyond what we are. So it was definitely something that could see into the future. And they were planting seeds. So they were, again, that Seven of Pentacles. So they were seeding something for that time frame. So, but the energy, it just isn't feeling the same. It's, as the other two. It's just so, I'm going to ask to see if it was that era or that time frame that they were
was
built
it the same time frame
as the other ones? Yeah. Okay. No, because it's coming up with the Four of Cups. So there's three beautiful cups, and there's something being offered, but it's not being accepted. So I feel it was either a different timeline, or a different time frame. And again, that mystery card, our Four of Swords, has come up. So there's more to this than meets the eye, and it just it doesn't feel like it was done at the same time at all.
Okay. So Wolf Love is asking, and this could be another option, are the giant fossils at Easter Island, and could it have been giants?
Really good question, because I was just not getting that same energy with it. So, and I was going, okay, this is where it's great, it's great. Thanks, Wolf Love, for putting in suggestions so we can actually look at it and see where it comes from.
The people that supposedly built it, according to ancient aliens, is the Rapa Nui. So we could ask that next.
Okay, so let's have a look and see if they're fossils more so than having been levitated and built. I don't think they're fossils, because we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a change with something. They could have been modeled on the giants, though. Okay, again, that's our futuristic looking card from something different. And then we've got the Chariot. So it was definitely something that moved on quite quickly, whatever it is. But it's not saying that it was actually, yes, it was giants. Yeah,
Okay.
it could have just been based on the beings that were living at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then let's ask if it was the Rapa Nui
Okay.
who built it.
That's interesting. I've never heard of them, so we'll find out and see.
Yeah. That's what they say. And ancient aliens.
Okay. So our first card that came up is Nine of Cups, which is wishes and dreams. So, and then the Nine of Pentacles. So we've got some nines here, which is near completion. So that's creating that beautiful, individual energy, creating something quite magical. It's very gold. So it actually could have been something like the Rapa Nui that came through. I haven't got a definite yes coming in.
Right.
So whether that's what they're calling them, again, I think this is what happens. The name gets changed from what it was that was actually there. So yeah, I feel it was something more than that.
Okay.
So that Rapa Nui, that though it doesn't, the name's not resonating with the beings. So maybe it's just a name that's come through and stuck to them. Yeah.
So, because I think they still live there or something like that, where that's how they know the name. It's just that it's still
it's
like there's, yeah.
It's the current beings. Yeah, because I'm getting this was
so.
different. So this was the different beings to them.
Okay. So are you feeling that these are older than the other ones or before?
No,
right?
I'm feeling that they're younger, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the other ones were from an older time frame. I was actually getting I was getting like about maybe 12,000 years. The other ones were much more around like the 15,000 years if we go on our linear time frame.
Yeah.
Just a whole different frequency and energy with it. So
okay, so then the question was, do the heads represent those who built them?
Okay, let's have a look.
They were pretty big narcissists if they were.
I know, exactly. So, yeah. I'm getting a no.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, no, it was based and modeled on something else. So it was something unique. It was something different that was created. Yeah, it wasn't created on that at all. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, no, I'm not getting that it was.
Okay. All right.
Nope.
So they're looking into a specific place, especially the ones that are looking at. They're all looking a specific way. So where are they looking? Where are they looking to? Where they came from, or?
Yeah, it's quite amazing, isn't it? How they've just been lined up like that.
Yeah, and these are gigantic stones. I mean, these,
I know,
the size of buildings. So how could they could do this?
Yeah, let's have a look and see.
Okay.
Huh. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so the Tower came up first. The Tower card came up first. So it feels like there was something. It was almost trying to be protective. It was almost like a protective aspect or something was going on that was being protected, because then the Moon card came up as well. And when the Moon card comes up, it's usually something that's difficult, and it's like an aspect that within our psyche, when the Moon card comes up, it means we're going to go through a tribulation. So that's very much what I'm getting. It's almost like they're facing a certain way energetically for protection or energetically to hold power. That's what I'm getting, because then the Empress cards come up again. And remember, she's the creator, the mother, the one that brings through joy. So I just keep getting this feeling there was something a bit shonky going on in those times. There was something that wasn't quite as beautiful and harmonious and loving, you know. Yeah. So they were being used as an almost like an energetic barrier or getting power from somewhere.
Okay.
And who knows, was that aspect of land, was that attached to something else, or has it always been separate? It's like, you know, how do we know what's changed and shifted over the years too?
But let's find out why we think they were looking to the same place. So they were there for protection, but why are they all looking to the same place? To the up. Their eyes are looking up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question, Joyce. If they were on ley lines.
Yeah. So the Fool is, to me, that answering that question is they're facing that way for the energy. So it's like, see how he's almost looking the same way as the actual statue. So looking up and facing in a certain way. And it's about, well, when you're going off the cliff, it's going into the unknown. So it's almost like they're looking to bring energy through from whether it's, you know, whether it's the cosmos or wherever it is that they're looking. So again, that Nine of Cups keeps coming up, and it's like their dreams and desires were to have this power or this energy coming through. And it was balanced. So that way it was obviously set up as a form of balance, because that's what our High Priestess is that balance card with a mystery behind it. So yeah, it was definitely a strategy, but they're looking out over into the void. So what I'm seeing is like the void, which is where we create from. It's where energy comes from, 0 point. So that might have been why they set them up then, was to actually just get as much energy as they could through them.
Okay, but you're thinking like they're looking up to the stars because they're getting energy from there?
Through source of some sort, yeah. So it's almost like that connection in to that dimension is what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing.
So connection to a different dimension, to a more stronger, energetically stronger dimension.
Yeah, so they can actually build from. So they can bring that energy through, a little bit like, in a way, how the Stonehenge was like a sort of, you know, connecting point, and it was a travel point, and it was on certain times of the year when the stars and planets were lined up, it would be much more powerful, and that's when the Druids or whatever would, and the, you know, Magians would do their ceremony. So I'm getting that similar feeling with this. And is that all of them? That's what I was saying. Maybe there was more. Maybe there's not just that line, but it's been interrupted somehow. That there was more to it. So yeah, and the Emperor's just come up. So to me, that says yes, it was very strong, and it's that very authoritarian, masculine, bringing through energy and power. So it was for power that they were doing that. I still get the feeling there was more of them.
More of these like lined up statues?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. So
did you just jump out?
They did. So yeah.
Oh my God.
So we had a so the 6, which is definitely the victory. So I feel there was more at some time and some point of time, and then the Hermits come out. So to me, this is very powerful, very inner power, inner mystery being revealed. Yeah, there were more of them.
So these figures, I don't know if people are aware that the figures, the other ones, the ones that are the big heads, these figures. So if you dig under them, there's more of them under their bodies underneath This one, you
Yeah.
can see almost some of it. So I wanted to know if erosion had built up with time, like the earth, like the soil had just built up with time, so it covered them, or if they were specifically put in that way.
Yeah, that's a great question. And this is starting to make sense now because I didn't realize that. And I just kept seeing them differently, and more of them. So it's almost like they've been disrupted. That's what I kept getting, is something was disrupted for
So
them.
yeah, so we need to
Yeah.
see if that disruption was organic
Yeah. Okay.
or man-made or
Okay. Let's
ET
see.
made. Who knows? It could,
True. Who knows? Goodness.
but basically organic or inorganic, right? Either the earth did it or something other than the earth,
Did it?
inorganic. So that could
Uh,
be humans or ETs.
Yeah, no, I feel it was just something that happened organically with the shifting of the plates and the shifting of the tectonics, because then we've got, I love this card because it's temperance, which is just something that's happened, moving something, as we know, or shifting plates or time or home, and it's powerful. So I feel it was just something that actually came through to get back balance. It feels quite natural, and that's what I was getting. Remember, I kept saying, is there another part of that island that was actually connected to something else? Because it feels like there was more, and it's not there. It's not complete, is what I was getting.
Oh,
Those
okay, yeah.
statues.
So you're thinking you felt that because that they're covered under that dirt.
Yeah, they're covered, or they've got fallen in. They've gone into the ocean, or with the shifting and breaking away of our Earth has changed. There's been
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
tectonic plate shifts.
So there's a
Mm.
question about, and I don't really believe this, Space Cadet Lottie. That's a funny name.
I love that.
So it, it says that they have been moved by authorities. I
So,
don't know. Like, do you get? I mean, let's ask. But
yeah, so
let's
we're
see what.
talking about the Easter Island here, or
Yeah,
back to
these
Stonehenge?
heads, the heads.
The heads.
Mhm.
Okay, let's have a look. Where are they moved by humans,
By
or by
humans, yeah.
humans? Yeah,
And were any of them moved by humans?
were any of them moved by humans? Okay.
I just don't think they would be able to,
Yeah.
personally. But because you would have to bring like major machinery from Chile or from somewhere, and that's really, really far away.
Yeah, and so first of all, we've got our Six of Cups, which means, to me, it's like an organic change and shift. It's being, something's happening, and then we've got the World card. So now I feel it was more of a world happening, because then we've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is
Right.
something
So
moving on, and
right.
so it feels more organic,
Yep.
Space Cadet. But it's a great question, because I've asked this as well, and even with like Stonehenge, it's like, have they put in fake stuff or whatever? But with the
Mm-hmm.
Easter Island, it feels like it was organic earth changes and shifts that have happened.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, so the
Mm,
other question she had was, when the poles shift or Earth changes, how does that affect the key lines, the ley
ley
lines
lines, yeah.
or meridians on Gaia?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
maybe Jazzy can help us with this
yeah,
one.
definitely. And also, too, just from my understanding, I've actually noticed, even since like 2002, 2003, I remember moving to this place just near the border of Queensland and New South Wales in Australia. And I always get directed where I'm meant to move, because I know I'm like just a transmitter for energy to come through onto the grid lines of Earth. I didn't understand it back then, but I kept getting told, this is where you have to live. It doesn't matter if you just sit there and read a book, you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing. And I used to go down to Byron Bay. You might have heard of that. It's a really beautiful place, just probably about an hour and a bit from where I was living in New South Wales. And the Aboriginals used to go there for healing. So they'd come in, and the ley lines and the grid lines were so powerful. They'd come in, they'd have their beautiful healing, and they'd leave. So they wouldn't stay there because that would contaminate it. But of course, we all moved in and became very popular. But what I felt happening, just even over those 2 years, was the grid lines moving upwards. And then where I was just on that border, I actually felt that grid line come in and connect where I was living. That was down in Byron Bay. And I hadn't read much at all about grid lines or anything. It was all energetic. What I felt, sometimes I'd be so dizzy because of this frequency coming in. It was like I was just going, oh my God, it's like I'm off my face, and it's just like this frequency coming in. And that's how powerful it was when these grid lines were shifting. So back even as close far as like 2002, 2003, this was happening, that I actually felt personally. So as the poles shift, well, the energetic poles shift, then yes, the grid lines and the ley lines definitely shift. I've felt it personally. And I was given more clarity of that. And that's when I started to really be able to tap into vortexes and different, I suppose, key lines and things like that. So, I mean, I can ask as well and see if we can get more clarity from the cards, if you like.
Yeah, or Jazzy can.
Oh, yeah, Jazzy,
come
come and show me. Okay, so what he's showing me is as this frequency comes in onto Earth, whether it's through solar flashes, electromagnetic energy that comes through from our solar flares, it increases. He's showing me it's increasing the actual frequency of the grid lines and the poles. So they're all working together. So it doesn't just take a pole shift for these grid lines to work. It's like a whole holograph is shifting. And he's just showing me all this light coming into the grid lines and shifting and moving to where it needs to go. So, and then of course we have to shift as well in our frequency because we're connected into that. So this is what he's showing, how we're actually affected by this grid line and pole shift.
Yeah. She's saying that her, with all this stuff, is making her head tingle. That's funny.
I know, and it's true. And this is the beauty of these shows, because it's not just knowledge. We're actually bringing through frequency. And that's why I said to you, sometimes I'll get goosebumps, sometimes I'll get hot, because there's actually a frequency coming in. And as the words come through, you guys be open to receiving, because you will be getting some light codes and things coming in, especially, yeah. So great. Thank you.
No, absolutely.
Go the tingles.
Absolutely. So we should have asked if Stonehenge was on a ley line. So let's go back and see if Stonehenge was, and then if this island was as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know we're running a little bit late, but I cannot stop, because I want to know a couple of more things. So
yeah, that tower card's come up again. So definitely it was on a different grid ley line area. So that's shifted.
Okay.
Yep. It's actually shifted with our shifting of our grid lines and North Pole and everything. And then Wheel of Fortune, just confirming there's been a shift, guys.
So it was on a ley line then.
Oh,
Stonehenge
very much.
was.
And
okay.
I've been shown this, and Jazzy's even showing me it's like a vortex or a gateway is what it was on.
And now it's not
okay.
anymore.
And he's actually showing me something else now too, as our remembering, as we forgot more and more, and we sort of went into more density. We couldn't access that. So as we now start to rise in frequency, we're going to be able to access more of the earth and remember the earth. That's what we're here for, is to be connected to earth. So we're going to be able to connect more into these grid lines. So maybe a little thing you guys that are watching could do is start putting out the intention of being connected to these grid lines, and where you're walking and or even where you're thinking of. What are you feeling? Are you getting tingles? Are you actually getting a bit dizzy? What are you feeling, sensing, and seeing when you're in these areas? It's a great way to learn and grow and expand, is to ask those questions. So that might be a little bit of fun work, not homework. We don't do homework. We do fun stuff at home to do for yourselves. So
yeah, definitely. So then this island is in the middle of nowhere, okay? Like even Chile, which it's owned by Chile, it's like super far away. So I'm wondering what this island is. Was it connected to Lemuria, or was it connected to Atlantis? I feel Lemuria in my body, but what was this? What is it the top of what used to be a civilization underneath, or I don't know, just I feel something.
No, absolutely. And so the first card that came up is the Nine of Wands, which means that something was coming to an energetic or a spiritual ending. It's actually, okay, and then we've got the Ace of Swords. So this was, I'm actually seeing it rising up out of the earth with this massive change that went on. So it could have been joined up to other places before. So because then the King of Pentacles has come up, who is the master of creation. So it's almost like it's been pushed up or on its own, like when there's been that shift with all of our beautiful, the tectonic plates and everything moving. I just keep getting a vision of it coming up out of the ocean almost on its own, like it's been broken away and something's tilted up. It's a little bit like, I don't know if you guys have seen Ayers Rock in Australia, up in the Northern Territory, but they say that that's part of the earth that's actually come up, and it shows all the different layers of the earth within it. So because of a shift at some stage within the tectonic plates. So sort of what I'm feeling is it's come up out of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Could be
Very
completely
cool.
wrong, but I just kept seeing it and I can't deny what I see. So
right.
if anyone
Yeah.
else has any ideas on this or feels something, pop it up there. Trust yourself, guys. Put it up there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we are at the end of today. That went by fast. It was so much fun, and that's good because my battery is dying. And so thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We are not going to have. We were going to talk about cannabis this Friday, or Thursday, but we're both busy, so we're going to do it the following. Either Thursday or Friday to talk about that. But we will be back next Monday, and I will make sure that I post on the YouTube channel which new episode we're going to be watching before we come and ask the questions. So
awesome.
So Space Cadet was asking about Gosford glyphs.
Oh,
but I don't think we know anything to really ask any questions about that.
No,
So
I don't know Gosford glyphs.
Yeah.
So next
we'll
time we can flag that one for next time.
Yeah. And just for everybody else, don't forget, I have the 222 activation for healing. I was driven and asked that this needed to be done because we are out of time. It needs to be done now. It seems that I've been putting out some healing courses for people to heal, and it seems like people aren't doing the work. So what this was presented from someone's guides was that this is a huge day, huge energetic shifts that you can heal a lot faster that day than other days. So anyway, just look for the video I did on my YouTube channel for the 2022 activation, and the information is there. And Maree, do you have anything else?
No, it's great, and thank you. I love learning. I'm learning at the same time as everyone with this.
I know,
so
this is
great.
so much fun. Everybody, if you enjoyed it, please share. And I'm hoping that we can get to grow this, amazing work that we're doing, because I just have so much fun. And I hope that we get to grow together. So we love you. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And if you're in the US, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Or anywhere, not Australia, because it's tomorrow there, but anybody not in Australia, happy Valentine's Day. All right,
we'll
guys.
just send love. Okay, see you guys. Bye.